I also own you, antimatter Morty.
The violent Andy walking peppers, under the feet. Got the squad rolling deep, can't stand on their feet. Can feel on the grip, hands in the dough, funny pot. Sticky fingers, palm looking, the block stay hot. Side black shadow boxing, swinging at the air, undefeated in delusion. Reality don't care, Jupiter creeping, got the whole crew shook. Predator vibes, got a band from the book. Josh Block got the hell, bottle in his clutch. Captain of a ship that's been sinking too much. Over Andy waddling, can't step to the throne. Morty top the mic, let him reap what they've sown.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, and thanks for stopping by the channel again today. I got done making my Tofiachu video a little bit early, and I was like, you know, let's talk about some true crime. I love doing the true crime streams. It's been a little while since I've been able to do one. I want to start cycling them into the content more often, especially with the Cyrax drought we're experiencing, for better or for worse, right now. So we're gonna jump over to a video from Midwest Patrol. This video is titled Predator Caught Messaging Undercover Cops, and if one of my moderators wouldn't mind dropping the link to Midwest Patrol in chat, I would love to pin it so that you guys can go give them a subscription if you haven't already. And yeah, let's watch this guy get arrested, get interrogated, and cry about the fact that he didn't get to talk to a kid.
In March 2024, officers with the Chillicothe, Illinois Police Department executed an arrest warrant for an individual who had been sending explicit messages and videos to an undercover investigator who was posing as a female under the age of 18.
Dominic?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Doing good. What's up?
Got an arrest warrant for you, okay?
What?
We're indecent solicitation of the child, so go ahead and put your hands on your back and arrest.
I'll take this for you.
The faux politeness of him taking the water bottle and being like, yeah, I'll take that for you. You're not going to need that no more. Ash, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm gonna put the I'm gonna pin that message. So, like I said, if you guys want to follow Midwest Patrol, it'll be the pin message in the chat.
All right, so your warrant's out of Marshall County, and then you also have charges out of Peoria County. Okay? So we're gonna go back to Chillicothe PD. We'll read you your rights there. And,
Gonna crack a Red Bull. I don't know how it's noon here, and I haven't had any caffeine yet today.
Okay.
Kicks on that phone.
Yeah, I see chat talking about it. I heard Chuck Norris passed away, and I remember there were those jokes back in the day about, like, you know, death was too scared to come take Chuck Norris. If Chuck Norris passed away, I think it's because he probably just decided that he had done everything that he wanted to do on Earth, and he was ready to move on from this plane. So, R.I.P. Chuck Norris. I think he would have had to let death do it. You know what I mean?
That's not how. Might as well Miranda's in case he fucking starts sputtering out some shit in the car.
The nice thing, we know that's the phone. There's a kick notification on it.
Fucking kick it. And then
Ganja Bite with the super chat. Thank you, Ganja Bite.
and also we'll note it. We'll verify the phone number when we get back from the PD. I'll call from the PD number so that can come up.
Okay.
That way, hi.
He has become Death? Yeah, maybe it's like in Soul Eater, where like if they collect 1,000 souls, they get to become Death's new weapon. Like maybe he is Death's new scythe at this point.
Ties everything back together like a little bow.
I'm just gonna read it to him real quick.
yeah,
Thank you. Take care. Thanks, guys. Hopefully,
All right, real quick, I'm not gonna question you here, but I'm just real quick, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned.
I gotta say, those Miranda cards there are like a lifesaver. Every police department needs to make sure that every single officer has like 10 of those on their person at any given time, because I've seen so many cases get screwed up over the years because somebody like read the Miranda rights slightly wrong, or they misspoke. Like, it's like if you can just give them a little thing to read like that, it saves so many problems down the line. I love seeing those. Like, unironically, I love every time a cop pulls one out, I'm like, good, because if you can't trust yourself to remember it, at least trust yourself to be able to read it.
If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or statements. Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, like I said, we'll discuss everything once we get
If Chuck Norris was Death's scythe, he'd be a pair of spiked nunchucks. That's fucking metal. I love that.
out of here. We're not gonna do it here, okay? And then we'll turn right into here. Just take a right.
Okay.
And then you can just have a seat right over here.
Okay.
I'm just gonna read something again real quick. And then we'll kind of...
This guy has like guilty posture as soon as he walks in. He's taking like very small steps and kind of looking around all scared like a prey animal. He knows what's going on.
Introduce ourselves and then kind of explain why we're here, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Stage your copy tomorrow.
All right, so you have the right to remain silent.
Do we think Chance is going to make a memorial video for Chuck? He was like my dad. Yo, if he was like active right now, like if Chance were still streaming like multiple times a day, every day, like he was a couple of months ago, we would be getting a memorial concert for Chuck Norris. And then he'd be talking about how it was actually Chuck Norris who got him into martial arts. And that's why he learned to use like the tactical washer and the 9mm guitar jacks. It would all be inspired by Chuck Norris.
Anything you say can will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of these rights I've explained to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us?
What's that one time?
Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to us?
Well, I'd be that. I want to hear what you guys.
Imagine
have, like-
Chance in an interrogation room. Yeah, well, for the last 7 years, a man named Music Biz Marty, like he would literally just not stop talking about the trolls the entire time.
Yeah,
we can explain it to you.
Well, the reason why we're here, and we're having a conversation about it, okay? I know you're kind of interested about why we're here, and we kind of get your side of everything when it comes to this, okay? It's an open dialogue, okay? So you know, I am Detective Donovan with the Chillicothe Police Department, Detective Reinhardt with the Marshall County Sheriff's Office, and this is Officer Corey Kozer, and he's with the Chillicothe Police Department, okay? Just so we're aware, we've been doing some investigating, okay? So, something was brought to our attention. That's how we get involved in these things, okay? All right. Basically, a parent or family member reached out to us about their daughter being messaged by an older gentleman, okay? And then during that investigation, your name was brought up in that investigation, okay? Do you use online messaging services or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I do.
Okay, which sites do you? I'm kind of old, so I don't know. I'm not familiar with some of the sites. What sites do you use?
Okay, so this is always a fun thing that I like seeing detectives do when they're in the interrogation room. They'll play. Here's the thing. When you get put in an interrogation room, the cops that are in there with you already know everything that they possibly could know about the case. What they're trying to do is get you to verbally confirm information that they already have. So when they do this thing where they go like, I'm kind of an older guy, I don't really know the messaging apps. Like, no, they know what messaging apps you were using. They know what they are. They know you're on Telegram. They know you're on Signal. What's the other one? Blue Sky. And these detectives, like, they handle this stuff specifically. Like, they're not going to bring in a homicide detective to talk about, a predator sting. Like, these guys know what they're doing, but they play dumb and they act like they don't know what they're doing because they want to give you a little bit of rope to kind of get yourself with, you know what I mean? They want to give you an open forum to tell your story the way that you want to tell it. And then what they do is, if they're going to use the read technique, which they almost always do, slowly they kind of ratchet your story over into what reality is because they can keep catching you in small lies and go, okay, you told us a little bit of the truth and we appreciate that, but you told this little lie and we have this other report, and they can kind of get you to fold to that. And it's like this, it's almost like this, I don't know, it's like folding up a big piece of paper down into like a small little square where they keep painting you into a smaller and smaller corner by getting you to make small concessions on little things. And it was interesting to me the way that he pretended he literally didn't even know what messaging apps were, because it's like, oh, they're 100% doing that. He's going to start out playing dumb and they're going to fold this guy like a lawn chair.
Message.
I don't know, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like what kind of, like, I don't know, because
Oh shit, Girl Next Door said I'm on YouTube featured. That's awesome. I love hearing that. That's only happened a handful of times before. That's pretty cool. And we're only like 10 minutes into the stream on noon on a Friday. That's pretty fun.
I get on a bunch of different sites.
Like what? I mean, just what sites do you get on?
Dating sites and stuff.
Okay, what kind of dating sites?
I don't know. There's a lot of times.
I've been married 20 years, so it's been a while since I've been on dating sites. You might have to refresh me.
I'll be like, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, see, he did it again. I've been married for 20 years. I don't know how these dating work. I don't know how these dating sites work. You got to tell me, young man. Like, and the dude is still terrified. He's stuttering.
As best you can.
Oh yeah, let's see. There's like adult friend finder,
Okay.
stuff like that.
Okay.
Did he just say adult friend finder? Because I gotta say, I mean, I'm not on dating apps. I've never really been interested in dating apps. I'm more the type of guy, like, I would rather just try to, like, pick somebody up in a bar or like a bookstore or something like that. But I've heard of like Tinder, I've heard of Hinge, I've even heard of like the niche ones like Christian Mingle and Black People Meet and stuff like that. I have never heard of Adult Friend Finder. Adult Friend Finder sounds like an ad that would be like on the side of the hub, not a legitimate dating site.
So there's the alt, it's an alt, so it's like a different version of it.
Yeah.
But let's see, I get on like Instagram or Twitter.
Twitter? You know what I've heard of?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Where's some of them?
and then I'll talk to people on there, and then they'll give me a link, and then I will sign up. They'll tell me, hey, talk to me here, and so I'll sign up. With my
Nega Ed said Morty trying to have a meet cute and a book's a million. Nah, Barnes and Noble, man. Barnes and Noble. You got to hit the Barnes and Noble up. I'm telling you.
email stuff, and then I'll be
100 times better than the club.
on that. There's a bunch of
What's your email?
I don't even
What is
know.
your email?
So,
What is your email address?
Well, I got at Yahoo.
At Yahoo?
So
That's your email. How long have you had that email address?
I've had that for I don't
Since the
know.
beginning of time, because I've had mine.
I've had mine since like third grade.
No, that's not the beginning. My first one was
Okay.
at Yahoo. So and I had that one, and then I got one more.
Yo, Chill Spooky with the 2. Thank you, Chill. Morty, you're awesome, and the community is amazing. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I love the community. I think we've done a good job of building up a really good community over here. I see a lot of the same names every stream, and you guys are always really funny. A lot of times I have to keep pausing the video so I can laugh at something somebody said in chat. So it's always a good hangout. I'm glad you're enjoying it.
At Gmail.
Mm-hmm.
So
Actually, Barnes & Noble does have all the baddies for some reason. Yeah, it's because I'm gonna let you in on the secret. It's an open secret. Barnes & Noble has the really big book talk section. Barnes & Noble has like shelves on shelves on shelves of those like motorcycle themed book talk books. You know what I mean? So it's like a moth to a flame.
I don't know. There's just a bunch of different sites that I signed up through links, from different girls, saying that I get to just talk to them on there or whatever.
And what
So,
site's that? Just in general?
I don't know, like the names of them exactly. They're like
Mellow Bunny said, I'd never heard about people using Telegram for that shit before watching Morty. I only knew a lot of furries used it. Well, here's the thing. It's like, it's like people use Telegram to send messages that they don't want other people to know that they sent. So even if it's not something that's technically a crime, a lot of drug dealers use Telegram. A lot of people trying to sell illicit content use Telegram. A lot of people who are trying to talk to a kid use Telegram. And then, yeah, there's furries and stuff like that on there. I'm sure there's people with other, like, kind of strange kinks on there, too, because if you're a furry, yeah, you're not committing a crime, but I'm sure a lot of those people, they don't want, like, the people in their actual daily life to know that they're a furry. So Telegram is a place to go hide. And anywhere that invites people to go hide their weird desires and perform them on that platform specifically, you're gonna end up with a lot of criminals on there.
local singles, stuff like that.
Have you ever been on the site Kick? K-I-K?
Kick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on Kick before.
When was the last time you were on that? When was the last time you were on Kick?
Let's see, the other night probably.
Okay, so something pretty fun. All right, these officers will be able to tell you more about this involves something on Kick.
Paulie's robot, it's definitely a big red flag, man. Paulie's robot said the Venn diagram of furries and PDFs are almost a complete circle. It's one of those things where if you find it out about somebody, yes, I'm sure theoretically there are some that don't do that, but I don't know, man. If we were to, I'll put it this way, if you went to a furry convention, you locked that shit down, the cops went in, and they just started, like, checking every hard drive there, I think you'd find a lot of really, really, really bad stuff. Not on every single one, but on, like, a whole lot. You know what I mean?
A lot of people on Kick.
How do you think you talk to on there?
Instagram, there's Kick, freaking.
What do you think of
Telegram, there's just Google a chat. So I don't know. There's a
Well,
bunch.
these two guys are going to talk to you about some messages that were on Kick. Okay, that's why we're here.
But
That's why we're here. Okay, they're going to talk to you about that. Okay.
Before we do that, I need your phone number real quick, bud, for my report. Can you confirm your date of birth?
With 1987.
And can you confirm your address where you live? And who lives there?
It's me and my brother, my mom and dad.
What's your mom and dad's name?
Fugurski.
What's your brother's name?
He's
Cobra Commander, what's up, homie? Cobra Commander said, I'm late. You should probably take a test, homie.
like 6 years.
Do you know the father?
He's probably 30, 31.
You got your own room in their house, or you guys share your room?
Yeah, I got my own room.
You got your own room? That's good.
Upstairs, yeah.
That's good.
He, like, won't even look at them. Like, he's looking, like, past them. If you watch his gaze, he does not want to make eye contact with these guys.
All right, so reason there's Chillicothe and Marshall County is because one of them was a female from Marshall County you were speaking to, and the other one was a female from Chillicothe you were speaking to, okay?
Okay.
Do you remember talking to a girl named Taylor? 14-year-old from Lake area.
14?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. I mean, I could have talked to Taylor. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people.
Remember that girl?
So, I seen her on there. She was in, there was chat rooms in there. She was in.
Okay.
So,
Did you private message her then? Or DM, whatever you guys call it. Did you message her individually?
but me, no,
No?
I didn't personally. I saw her. She was on chat. She was on chats. I saw her on in a bunch actually a couple groups. So,
So how did the conversation get struck between you and Taylor?
huh?
How did the conversation get
What
struck?
conversation?
The conversation that's been provided to me by her parents.
Here's the thing.
I don't know what it means.
I forgot to ask you.
Like-
Do you go by Dominic or Dom? What do you like? What do you prefer to be called? I don't. You prefer Dominic? Okay. I just want to. These officers didn't get here because you know what I mean.
Well,
something was reported to them.
Yeah.
And they investigated it, and they were able to get the chat logs of what was sent from your account.
Yeah, warrants and then the so we
Yeah,
have.
but the thing is, out of like multiple people, I've been like blackmailed or even my account's been hacked and stuff before. So
But here's the thing, Dom. How these things work is these officers go and get the warrants for your information when it comes to the account. Okay.
what's that mean?
It means they have the chat logs you had with these
Did you hear, like, the tremor in his voice? He goes, oh, what's that mean?
two minors.
And this big thick thing here, this is all your chat history.
I
And you know what's and you know what else
And
is
it has on there when these officers told you, what were told to you.
and what else is included
That
in
the
there?
chat that they told you they were
Is
not of
IP
age.
addresses. And IP addresses are back to one device. IP addresses don't go to multiple devices.
So Dominic, just to kind of explain the IP addresses, when we were asking some of those questions, we know where you live at based off your IP address.
Your
We
email
know
address,
where you work.
So I see a lot of people saying that he sounds wasted, he sounds strung out, and I'm not saying he definitely can't be, but I will say, interestingly enough, this is something I learned in one of my criminology classes. It was a criminal statistics class when I was getting my associate's degree, is that predators, child predators, are on the lower end of the spectrum as far as criminals who abuse substances. They're lower on the spectrum than people who commit, like, physically violent crimes against other adults or robberies and stuff like that. It tends to be, for many of these predators, that the only vice they have is being a predator. It's not tied to, like, 5 other things like a lot of other crimes.
Based off of your IP address.
Okay.
We just didn't pull your name out of the hat and say this is the guy that was messaging these girls.
And when you logged into the Kick account, it keeps a timestamp of what IP you're at. And it also lets you know what phone and everything. So we know that you were on your phone, this phone here,
Okay.
We know that you at home, you logged in at work. That's how we knew where you worked.
with message
That
logs
IP
and everything.
address.
Marie said they're some of the most likely to reoffend. Yeah, they have the highest recidivism rate of, like, any type of crime. Which is insane because they have the shortest sentences. They have I mean, you get longer for, like, robbing a Walmart. Even a lot of times, like, stealing from a Walmart, like, not even an armed robbery, you'll get longer for stealing a large amount of, like, just product from a Walmart than you'll get in very many cases for doing the type of thing that this guy clearly did. And it's crazy that they're the most likely to reoffend, yet they have the shortest sentences. They have shorter sentences than crimes with much lower recidivism rates. It's shocking. When I was working at the prison, I never liked to check in inmates' integrated case summaries because I felt like if I knew what they did and it was something really messed up, I wouldn't be able to treat them fairly. Like when it was time to like let them have their phone call or something, and I just would rather not know, you know. So, but when they were getting out and I knew they weren't going to be my responsibility anymore, sometimes I would get curious and I would look. And the sad thing was, there were tons and tons of guys who they were going to be in there for like, 20, 30 years. They were going to be in there for life. And they committed one crime one time. And yeah, it was really horrible. But at the same time, you would check a Predator's integrated case summary and you would see they had reoffended like 4 times already. Like, oh, he has a previous charge in Delaware. He's got a previous charge in New York. He's got 2 charges for doing the same thing in PA. And every single time it's like he got a 5-year sentence. He ended up getting time served. Then he served like a year and a half and he got good behavior. Predators, by the way, they almost always have good behavior in prison because they're physically not intimidating. They're not interested in committing a physical crime against another adult. There's no children in jail, so there's nobody for them to commit their crime against. So they're always on good behavior. They're usually physically weak. They're typically a little bit more intelligent than a lot of the other inmates that are there, so they can kind of keep to themselves, and they'll help people write letters. They want to try to cozy up to the guards to get protected. So they're not going to be the guy getting into a fist fight in the main yard or on the basketball court or in the chow line. So they get listed as being on good behavior, and now they got a 5-year sentence and they end up getting out in like 16 months and they could just go out there and do it. I can't tell you how many times we had guys brought back because they reoffended for this type of crime while they were on parole, which is disgusting because it's like if the system hadn't put them on parole, then they wouldn't have been able to commit that crime. They would have been in jail, but you're just giving them opportunities over and over and over again, knowing damn well that the statistics show that they will do this again.
And they've read the message logs. They know what you said to the 2 individuals.
We've seen the pictures, we've seen the message logs.
Who's the other one?
So the other girl, to ask you, do you remember this girl, Maggie?
Oh, yeah. I know her.
Okay. Have you talked to her?
Yes, I talked to her.
Yeah, I've talked to her. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you guys usually talk about?
Well, erotic roleplay. I thought, that's what we were doing.
Roleplay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did any time in that conversation she tell you how old she was?
I don't remember. I don't know how old she was.
Okay.
You remember getting that photo? The feet? There was a lot of feet pics you requested.
Yes, I'm in the feet. I don't.
Okay. I'm not joking about it. I'm just confirming you remember sending receiving those.
I didn't know, like, she's actually, like, underage, like.
Well,
So
I love the way that he just asked, is she actually? Because he's almost admitting that he then thought that she might be and that there was an age listed. It sounds like he's maybe trying to set up for the Cyrax defense where Cyrax will be like, well, I know she said she was below a certain age, but I could tell by the way she was talking she was an adult, so that's why I played along and kept talking to her. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds like he's trying to set that defense up, and it's just such a weak argument.
we'll kind of go over a little bit with Maggie. So even just recently, you talked about wanting to date her, and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You talked about wanting to date her, but you also said that you had to wait until she was 18. So you saying that you weren't aware of her age?
Like, because I didn't know her real age.
What do you mean you didn't know her real age? See, he's doing it again. If somebody tells you their age on the internet, and then you think that they're maybe not that age, you don't get to just decide, well, they said they're 14, but I'm going to treat them like they're 25. Like, what?
In that conversation, it was mentioned you knew she went to school.
I didn't do that because I didn't know.
Oh my god, he just didn't say any words.
I thought he was black. I thought, because there's other people I bet that like to, they're not serious. They pretend to be,
So you kind of
Like Nova Online, like you thought this girl was like age regressing and this was some type of a game? Like, what are we even talking about here? If I was on Tinder and I met a girl who was like my age, she was 27, and then she suddenly decided, I want to, in the context of these conversations, pretend that I'm like 14 or something like that. Blocked immediately. You would never get another message from me. That's just such a red flag, like weird, scary thing. So even if he thought that that was the situation, that this girl was just role playing being that age, it's like that alone should have been disqualifying.
You pretended to be a different age than you really were. You said you were 24.
So Dominic, I mean, looking at any of these pictures, I'll show you a couple. On any of these pictures, would you have said that this female looks like she's over 18 years old? I don't think any of those pictures look like she's over 18.
Because I thought you.
I'm sorry, but the stuttering is hysterical. It's like, it's today, Junior. He's so nervous. He knows. I mean, I think a lot of these people, some of them are dumb enough that they genuinely seem, what's the word, like, surprised when they find out that they're getting arrested. I've seen that happen a handful of times, but for the most part, 19 times out of 20, I think these people just, as soon as as soon as the police even show up to their house, they know that's a wrap.
I thought you was into that, you know. Like I thought it was just a role play thing, you know. Nothing was ever to come of it, you know. So
there it is. There's the role play defense. So I mean, not that I think you should just never do this in the first place, right? But even in the context of a role play that two adults were going to do that's not disgusting and kind of borderline criminal, like somebody pretending that they're below a certain age, it's like, I don't know, if you were going to role play pretending that like you were being arrested by a cop, right? Like one of those scenes that people do where it's just, I don't know, he's the mailman, it's the plumber coming over to like fix your pipes. You would have to talk about that first. If your boyfriend just showed up to your house dressed as a plumber and was like, no, I'm not Morty, I'm Chuck, and I'm here to fix the pipes. Like, it has to be pre-established. You can't just decide independently that you guys are doing a role play scene by yourself and then be like, yeah, no, I just assumed they'd play along. You know, I thought it was role play, so it's cool, right? Like, there would be a text log of a conversation that you guys had had previously, establishing that there was going to be role play happening, not just like I woke up one day and decided to do it and I figured they'd be on board.
So so like for role playing instances, so you in your mind you were envisioning her to be underage, but
Wasteland said, I'd be like, dude, why are you dressed up as a plumber and not Leon Kennedy? Very fair. That's a very fair question. He should know better.
You didn't think she was underage, but you assumed through role play you were pretending that she was that age.
There's others that do that too, you know, and they call me like, you know, daddy and stuff, and like, but they're not underage. They're just playing. It's role play, you know.
But in your mind, you're envisioning them to be that age.
Yeah, see, okay, so the cop made a great point there, and this is what I said during the the last Nova Files thing. This is why I said I don't think that age play shit can ever be ethical, really, because even if it's two adults engaging with it, which of course with Nova it wasn't, right? But even if it's two adults doing quote-unquote age play, they are pretending and sexualizing the idea that someone is below an appropriate age. You know what I mean? So even if there's not an actual victim being harmed, you are getting off to the idea that you're pretending that your partner is below a certain age. So how can that be ethical? Like, how is that not a slippery slope to you actually doing a crime? You know what I mean? This is like how serial killers, they start out harming animals and then they slowly work their way up to harming a person. It feels like the same thing when it comes to age play. You know, it feels like you're dipping your toe into doing something wrong and you're going to get like way worse later on.
Yeah, because I mean, that's what just the role play. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, you could go on to sites and you could see, you know, there's, you know, people, you know, they just, you pretend, you know, it's just nothing, you know, you don't think, it's not, you know.
Did you guys at any time ever discuss role playing? That you want to...
Again, even if you were role playing, like if you had to think of 100 role play scenarios, like nurse, doctor, again, like stupid shit, like the mailman and the plumber, somebody being like a witch or something, like just anything but that. That's really what it's got to be.
Believe something different than what was actually in front of your eyes.
Probably, I don't know, possibly at the beginning. I mean, I just thought, I did not know she was actually underage.
In Taylor's situation, the one I showed you, the first message was she was 14 female, and then shortly later she told you she couldn't wait till she was 16 to drive. So I mean, Taylor made it very clear she was underage.
No, I just thought I did not know that they were for real. Because
The very first message was her saying that she was 14 years old. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know.
So just to kind of explain something.
I even thought they were the same person, you know. So I didn't even think they were separate, you know. I just thought it was the same person playing, you know, different people, even.
People do that on there?
Huh?
People do that?
Yeah, there's so much stuff that people.
The cop is like also shaming him. He just very quietly, very calmly goes, "People do that."
Like, I don't know. It's just.
We're not on these apps, so we don't know. Like,
if you get on, you talk to some people, like, you know. I just talk to so many people, and then like there's just so many. I don't know. You say kinky, I guess, or just, you know, that are into different things. You know, like there's one girl that, you know, she wears like diapers and stuff, and, you know, likes to be like, you know, like a kid. You know, she's not. So.
Not the diaper play coming up. Once again, it's just like the usual suspects, isn't it? Said I talked to this one girl online, Nova Online. She likes to like be in diapers and sing me Twinkle Twinkle. I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't know this. Like, I just thought I get on there and just you know, have fun and all that. I wasn't like.
I can tell in the back of your mind, though, you were a little nervous talking to her because you mentioned once you hope she wasn't a cop in there.
Well,
they always say that too. There is literally always multiple messages. Every time we cover TCAP, we have to talk about this. Are you a cop? If you're a cop, you have to tell me. Can you write down the date on your hand and show it to me so that I know that you're not like a catfish? Like, it's if you are talking to somebody and from the rip, you're very nervous that they're trying to trick you and you're very nervous that you're going to get caught doing something, it's because you know you're doing something wrong and you have a guilty conscience and you know you could get in trouble for it.
See, I could tell in the back of your mind when I was reading through those messages.
Well, yeah.
You were hoping that she. You know,
I didn't know. Yeah, I said. I mean, I don't know exactly if I said it to her, but yeah, there's been people. I've said things too, like, you know, like, I guess it's kind of weird, you know, like, you know, are you a cop or something? Are you trying to, you know, get me in trouble? You know, like.
But if you weren't doing anything wrong, right? How could she get you in trouble? You know, like if you guys were just doing some type of role play that was totally fine, totally ethical, you're both adults, how could you get in trouble for that?
Trap me or something, I don't know. And, you know, they say, you know, tell you no or whatever. And they're just, I just thought it was role play. I don't know how else to put this, guys. Like, I'm online. If you go to the sites that I go to, it wasn't. I don't know.
And to confirm your Kick account, I mean, we already have, but your username was like, correct?
Yeah, something like that.
That's your account, correct?
What?
That's your account, correct?
Alright, so yeah.
Yo, Morale with the gift membership. Thank you very much. If you got that gift membership, please say thank you.
That's his account. Alright, what do you guys got?
Yo, wait, really Alex made a great point. Really Alex with the 5. Morty, imagine age play except the participants are role-playing as two very elderly people. You know what? You kind of caught me in a little bit of a paradox there. I think you're correct, right? So I guess age play is fine if you're age playing as people who are above the age of consent. So, like, if you're in your 20s, right, but you guys are age playing as, like, a couple who's, like, 45 and you're, like, kind of tired of each other, like, like you could do that, or if you're role playing that you're like in the nursing home, that's fine. You just have to age play up, not down. You know, I guess it would even be fine. Okay, if you're like a married couple in your 40s, right? And you're pretending that you're like in college, like you're pretending to be 20, I guess that's okay. Alex, that's actually a really good way to think about it. That's kind of a funny like loophole in my statement that I didn't think about.
So the pictures that were sent down back, were those pictures of you or those pictures of other people?
Which pictures? I said
Your age playing, you're just being like, I remember, I'm gonna pretend I'm still at an age where like my knees don't pop.
that picture of me and other people, because I don't know. So there's a lot of people that do that, you know, because they just.
I'm age regressing to when I was 25 and my back didn't hurt.
I don't know.
So I'm just talking about pictures that would have like male genitalia in them. Were those of yours or was that of somebody else?
It's
Just remember, we have
both.
like
I send. It's could have been. I sent both. So it's.
So you sent some of yours and some
I
of other
sent me
people's.
and some other people. Like I sent pictures of me, and then I don't know. Are
Yo, Woodsman, welcome, homie.
you talking to like them specifically?
Yeah.
I don't know. I see the picture. I don't think I sent of me. And there's so many pictures I have, guys. Like, you gotta understand.
So I'll talk more. Cause
I take a lot of pictures, and there's a lot of pictures out there, too, so. That's crazy.
What kind of pictures are we talking? Because if you say there's a lot of pictures of me out there, and then you do like the stress temple rub like that, I don't think he's talking about like selfies or candids, you know?
So
This is a.
I know you've been talking to Maggie for a while. It sounds like you've been talking to Taylor for a while as well.
Yeah.
So I'll talk more.
I talked to him a few times, yeah.
A little more recently. So you talked to Maggie just a couple days ago. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So in there were pictures that were sent through the Kick app. That wouldn't have been from like a phone gallery. So I'm asking, are those pictures of you?
Tyler said, did you ever interview prisoners for a dispute like this? Yeah, so when we had, obviously we had certain things that would happen. If an inmate, like, really, really, really injured another inmate, you could charge them with an actual crime, at which case we would call the state police, and they would come in and, like, assist with the investigation so they could actually be charged. But, yeah, we had tons of situations where, there was a point where I was on, what was referred to as the search team at the jail that I worked at, and the search team, instead of having to like run a block, our job was just to rove the entire prison, and we would take tips from guards who like worked a block every day, like Gen Pop guards, and we would go search certain cells. So we would get a phone call. It would be like, hey, I'm on Charlie block right now, and the inmate in cell 26 is just acting really shifty. I see a lot of people hanging out by his door. I think there's stuff getting passed back and forth. And we would go and we would run down to that block and we would search the cell and try to find stuff. And we used to get to do interrogations on those inmates because what we wanted to know, that getting the inmate who had the drugs was small potatoes. Like, yes, we wanted to get that, but the important part, excuse me, was trying to figure out how the contraband actually got into the jail, because that meant we had a staff member of some kind smuggling stuff in and out. It could be kitchen staff, it could be a guard, or it could be maintenance staff. So we had to try to get the inmate to flip on, you know, whoever it was that brought him the drugs, and we would sit there, very similar to this, much smaller room, more like the interrogation rooms that you typically see, where it's like all the white walls and it's like one small table, and two of us would sit in there, and we would just sit there and talk to the inmate, and we would maybe let them know, you know, look, man, you got parole coming up in 9 months, like, you know, just try to put a little bit of pressure on them and lean on them to tell us who it was that was bringing the stuff in, because that was so much more important. Like, you expect inmates to do things wrong, but it's the staff members doing things wrong that you really have to worry about. So I've done quite a few of these with inmates, typically over finding like a small amount of some type of drug, sometimes coke, weed, fent, something like that inside of a cell. And it's like very I don't know, it's a very interesting process. I enjoy watching other people do it, and I enjoy watching other people do it well, because sometimes it's really easy and sometimes it's really hard, and it's just, when you've done it, I think you can appreciate how much skill is involved, and when cops make it look easy, that typically means not necessarily that the suspect was being like really, really easy to interrogate, but that they're just doing such a good job that they're making it look effortless.
It doesn't matter one way or another. What it comes down to is
there's
it
a
was a
lot of
picture.
times you can fake pictures. Even when they ask you for live pictures,
Okay.
you know, so
So were those pictures of you then, or would they have been from somebody else? Can you remember that from about 2 days ago?
it's probably someone else. I don't
Okay.
send ones of me.
You
So
don't
where would you gotten those pictures on? Like,
Just online, you know. Other people, like, you know what I mean? They send you things. So, you know, you just go on like Twitter, you know, forget.
So Dominic, obviously we don't want to a lineup of male genitalia or anything like that, but I can at least
That's a crazy thing for him to say. I don't even want to repeat it myself. I'm just going to rewind it like 10 seconds to have to hear that cop say that again.
You know, forget.
So Dominic, obviously we don't want a lineup of male genitalia or anything like that.
Can you imagine if they did that? If they had to like make the if they had to make the catfish pick his below the waist image out of a lineup, like they show you 10 and they have to be like, do you recognize any of these?
But I can at least speak for the pictures that were sent to Maggie. It appears to be from the same male. Okay.
yeah, so are Taylor's. That's the same body.
Yeah, it's the same body, and like I said, it doesn't affect anything negatively if those pictures are of you.
The charge is the same no matter what.
It's the same. I'm just curious. Is really all I'm asking.
I don't know what jurisdiction that is, but that's actually like most jurisdictions. That's not true at all. If he confirms that the pictures are him, that 100% could result in additional charges, as opposed to just like corruption of a minor or something like that.
I can't believe that.
So this
Can't
phone.
believe this. I thought this was just, I did not know. I just thought it was roleplay, man.
Okay.
Like, it's like, I mean, she just was, I don't know, she's real. She's a real person I was talking to.
It's a real person.
Yeah, that's it.
But I mean,
They're real good.
so I mean, here's the thing.
I was actually talking to them.
Yeah, Juan said, I'm just, it has nothing to do with the charges. I'm just curious, man. Is that your hog?
We're talking to a Maggie and we're talking to a
You
Taylor.
have proof of this.
That's where our warrants are from. We have all the
I know you have, like, proof that they were the ones messaging me.
Dominic, that's what, like, he just showed you the message logs. We have all the message logs and everything.
Yeah.
We reached out to the Kick with court orders, and they produced the logs of messages with the two accounts. Okay,
Yeah, but-
and that's what we have on. Okay, that was brought to our attention. That's why we started this investigation. Okay.
I just don't know what else to say. I just thought
Yo, the cop on the left is tired. Look, he's already like done with this investigation.
it was,
I understand where you're coming from.
I thought he wrote that and not know.
Where you thought it was possible role playing,
It was just like, you know,
but the problem is, Dominic, if a person tells you how old they are, okay, in your head you're still envisioning that person is still that age in role playing.
because that's what, you know, that was just part of it. In my head, I was thinking there were.
Yeah, exactly. That was part of it. That's the problem, is that you envisioning them being that age was part of it.
You know, I didn't think that was that person.
But when that person
Yeah.
told you that age, you still believe that they were that age, and even
No,
if it's
I
a
didn't.
role playing issue.
No, I didn't. I did not believe. It was just role play. It wasn't like, oh, you actually this. No, I didn't even think that person was real.
But in your mind, you're
Yo, Willie with the 2 said Chuck Norris passed, bro. Yeah, I know, man. It sucks, but I think if he wanted to go, he had to let death take him, man. He had a good run. He had a really good run. And Camo with the 5. Thank you, Camo. Make them really hungry. Just offer them udon, and they will get comfy at ease, and then they spill the beans as they eat. So the way that we typically did it was you have to leverage the privileges that they have, because this sounds kind of messed up, but this is the way you have to do it. Inmates, they have very little privileges to look forward to in a given day. It's really only a handful of things. You know, so their life is so restricted compared to us. All of us, we can wake up every day, and outside of like financial constraints and going to work, you know, if we want to go to McDonald's as opposed to Wendy's, we can do that. If we want to go to the bookstore or the movies, we can do that. I mean, they have like straight up so much structure in their lives. And maybe they want to go to the basketball court during a very specific time. Maybe they want to get their phone call or their visit with their family member or their girlfriend at a very specific time. Maybe they want their trip to the library, but there's really only a handful of things that they can do that are within, the scope of what they're allowed to have that is positive and is enjoyable for them. So a lot of times when they've already been caught doing something wrong, they know that they could end up going to the hole, they could go to solitary for having drugs, they know that they could have privileges revoked, they know that we could say, okay, well, you're now a risk of being a mule because we found drugs in your cell, so we could restrict your visits for 90 days and you don't get to see anybody for 90 days. Or we could say, we have to restrict your movement around the prison since we think that you're moving drugs around and stuff like that, so we're not going to let you go to the library anymore. And at the end of the day, they really don't have any incentive to protect a staff member that's bringing them in drugs. They have a lot of incentive to protect a different inmate because that inmate could beat them up, that inmate could hurt them, that inmate could even just spread the word that they're a narc and nobody wants to get labeled as a narc. The thing is, though, in prison culture, ratting out a guard does not get you labeled as a rat. Ratting out a staff member doesn't label you as a rat. Also, a staff member who gets ratted out by you is going to get fired, so they can't beat you up, they can't attack you. You know what I mean? So there are basically no consequences for an inmate to rat out a staff member, but there are an infinite number of consequences if they don't rat the staff member out and they get they end up getting themselves into trouble where they lose a privilege. This is something that they tell you at the academy when they're explaining to you why you should never do anything for an inmate. They appeal to like your selfishness and they'll say, look, man, at the end of the day, the inmate has absolutely no incentive to not throw you directly under the bus the moment that they get caught. So when they eventually get caught, you're going to get caught. You could do something to help. You could do something as simple as giving an inmate an extra phone call just to be a nice guy, right? And 2 years later, if you piss him off, the first thing he's going to do is go to a lieutenant and be like, oh yeah, this Officer Morty gave me an extra phone call and I saw him give this other guy an extra phone call too. Like, they'll rat you out instantaneously. So that's it. That is usually the very standard interrogation method. It's just, look, man, you got no reason to protect this guy. However, here's all the bad things that could happen to you if you don't throw him under the bus. And most of them will fold like a lawn chair pretty quickly for that.
You're thinking that person is that age because that's what role-playing is. If you're one of those people that's into Furbies and stuff.
Fake. It's fake,
But you're still in your head envisioning that person to be 14, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, that's what they... No, but I...
Because they wouldn't be role-playing then. It would just be
imaginary,
But in your mind,
it's
you're
imaginary, no, but you were talking to an actual person, so it's not imaginary.
Them to be that age.
And nobody talked about roleplay with Maggie. You and Meg never talked about roleplay. So if that was in your head, it was only in your head.
Yeah, I just thought I don't know, man. I'm just telling you. I talked to a lot of people. And I just thought that was into like that. I didn't even think they were real. I thought they were the same person.
But you never had the conversation with either one of them that this was role playing.
Are you sure? I mean, I'm
100% sure of it.
I've been through each other's message logs and.
He just asked this cop, "Are you sure?" You are in the interrogation room. They came to your house. They arrested you. They've been tracking your chat logs for weeks. And now you're going to ask him, yeah, but are you sure, though? Are you sure? You don't think this might have been a slip-up? Yo, Bloodspeth's in chat. Bloodspeth said he gave me an extra honey bun. Look, I told you, Bloodspeth ratting out a guard right away. The Bloods, the Crips, they'll all rat out a guard. What's up, Bloodspeth? How you doing, man?
I read through the logs, and there's not one mention in there about role-playing.
I just assumed it. I guess I don't know. I even brought up.
Camo said only works in Law and Order. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think most of the time they respond in the prison environment to be like treated nicely and like given a soda or something. There's really no reason to have to do that because there's so many easier things. The thing is, it's so much harder to interrogate someone who has not been convicted of a crime yet and they're like a free person because they have way more options. They can lawyer up. They have their freedom still. They're innocent until proven guilty, technically. So, like, it's way... I mean, the cops who have to interrogate people that they caught on the street, that job is 1,000 times harder than interrogating an inmate who's already had 90% of his freedom stripped from him, and now he's just trying to hang on to his phone calls, you know?
I even brought up, talking about how I know you're the same person as this person, and... I don't know. I thought I did not know
Is there any conversations like that?
He said one time he said in there, like, you remind me of someone else, and that was the end of it.
But you didn't name the person?
No, there was no name. It was just like, you remind me of... I'm not
There's,
working with it.
there's even a third person, because someone invited me to this group. There's 3 of them. And I remember they all joined the same day, and they all left the group the same time. And I talked about it. It said stuff. So right there, I thought that was fake. I thought I thought it was someone else, you know.
That wasn't Maggie or Taylor, though, that did that, correct?
Yes, it was.
That invited you to a group?
Huh?
That invited you to a group?
You know, Kick, I don't know, like, because Kick, you message people and then your messages get, like, erased, and then you start over, and you don't remember, like, everything, like, you know, you can start over another conversation, you know, from blank and not have what you had before. Anyways,
Yo, we got Mr. Uncle Cringe with the 20. Thank you, Uncle. Happy Thursday. Hope everybody's having a better day than Tofia and Cyrax. I desperately hope you guys are having, especially on a Friday, a better day than the 2 of those. If you're having a worse day than even the average day for Toph or Cyrax, you're having like one of the worst days of your life, seriously. I might have only had 5 or 6 days in my whole life that are worse than the average Cyrax like Tuesday, you know what I mean?
I don't know if they were the ones. There's a spider right there. I don't know if they were the ones that invited me. Someone invited me to a group that had them in it, and then they left. And I remember bringing it up, and I just thought, like, I thought they were all the same person.
This guy's voice is annoying. It sounds like he's holding his nose pinched shut. Yeah, Godstrike, you're 100% right. He sounds congested. He sounds like he's got a head cold, but it's bad.
So
I can assure you, Matt, or at least Taylor was in no group messages. So I can speak for Maggie, I don't remember.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said Taylor was never in any group chats with multiple people.
Like,
Was
just
Maggie,
like
he's trying to say
3 or
there
4
was-
people?
Yeah.
No,
She was
not
in
that I saw in the messages either.
she was in a group. She was in the group. I know. She was in.
The average Cyrax Tuesday, screaming and gooning all day. That Toga statue is having a bad day on Tuesdays. It's Chihuahua on a Monday for Bowser, and it's Toga statue on a Tuesday for Cyrax.
A couple groups.
Well, they were in group. I'm saying there was no like small, like 3, 4 people, like you were saying, just messaging each other. It was all their
No,
message
I'm
logs are just
not
between
saying-
her and one other person.
Yeah, everything we got back from
I'm not saying they were messaging. I'm saying they were in the group. I'm not saying that they were messaging in the group. I'm saying they were in the group and they left.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, I get what
all
you're.
your accounts are made the same day.
I get what you're saying
So-
about the groups. People come in and out of groups all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of weird when you look at the profile and then it says 8 days this was made. All 3 of them. And then they all 3 leave.
Stolaz said this is such a rat-like man. So, I don't know. Maybe this is kind of messed up. I'm still kind of processing this thought. Sometimes I'll say something as I'm thinking it. I think I brought this up on stream before, and I still haven't decided about it. There are an inordinate amount of predators that there is something physical that is happening with them that is, like, abnormal. Whether they have, like, a very, very, very bad speech impediment, whether they have, like, a very, very strange physical appearance like Cyrax, like... I'm not saying that everyone who looks weird is a predator. I'm not saying everyone who has a speech impediment is a predator. Like, I think you guys know, I always have to clarify these things because there's always one person who's going to be like, are you saying everyone with a lisp? And it's like, no, obviously that's not what I mean. But what I'm saying is, there's never a predator in any of these videos that it's just a regular guy that if you saw him walking through like a Walmart, you wouldn't think twice that he was weird. You know what I mean? Like, I'll put it this way. I never see one of these predators and I go, oh, really him? I never would have thought that guy was doing this stuff. Every time that they walk into a room and start speaking, you immediately go, oh, of course it's this guy. Like, these are the people that if they were your cashier at the grocery store, when you walked away, like, with your bags, you would, like, look at whoever you were at the grocery store with. You'd look at your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, and you'd be like, what was with that guy? Like, that was weird. Like, you'd feel a little bit bad because they didn't do anything wrong, but you'd be like, yeah, that was just, like, a weird interaction. You know what I mean? So, I feel like there has to be some type of a connection, but I don't know. Maybe because maybe they're this way partially because they were like rejected by society at a very young age. Like kids didn't want to be their friend and stuff like that because there was already something weird about them, and then they just mutated into this. I really don't know, but all I can say is none of them look normal, and there has to be some type of like anthropological result for that. There has to be an explanation.
True, you know?
Yeah, NSA Hole said lazy eye too. Lots and lots of lazy eyes in the Pred community. It's very strange.
And then they all. Another thing why I thought.
Elephant's Foot said they look naturally suspicious. Yes, that's a really good way to put it. They already look suspicious before you even know they did anything.
They were the same is because they always use the emojis in the same way, and then they always, you know, freaking, I don't know, it's just.
So if you thought it was if something,
He's saying he thought she was an adult because of the emojis that she was using.
was fishy about it, why'd you continue to message him?
Well, I don't know about like fishy. I just bet like it was one person that was like playing multiple people, you know.
But that would be somebody that you know seemed kind of odd to you, right? If that was the case.
No, I mean, I don't know what you mean by odd. Like,
I'm just trying to figure out, like you're saying that there's 3 accounts that were similar. What does that have to do with anything? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I love that they're not even letting him play the bullshit either. Like they're literally just going, "What does that have to do with it?" Like they're not tolerating. Sometimes they'll let them go off with the excuses for a while, and I get it because you have to lull them into a false sense of security so that they feel comfortable talking to you. Here's the thing. We like to see people that we don't like get yelled at. It's a little bit of Schadenfreude for us. We enjoy when Morty is calling Cyrax a loser and calling him ugly and stuff like that because we already don't like Cyrax, and it's fun to have Morty just make fun of him, right? But at the same time, if a cop was trying to interrogate Cyrax, the cop couldn't do that because, like, the cop has to make Cyrax feel at least comfortable enough speaking to him that he's willing to, like, reveal certain information. And usually with cops, I see people in the chat get frustrated sometimes where, like, why are they being so nice to this guy? And it's like, well, they have to. It's like reverse psychology. They have to get you to trust them. But I also do, as much as I understand why cops do that, it is fun when they don't, even if it's not the best interrogation tactic. And it seems like these guys already have everything they need. They really don't need this guy to admit that much. So they're kind of just cooking him, and it's very satisfying to watch.
How's that change anything?
That is it wasn't what it changes is that it wasn't a minor that thought I was talking to. It was someone that played these multiple characters, like, you know, the people.
Just because they signed in and out of an account on a group at the same time?
What?
Just because they went into a group at the same time and left the same time?
They signed it. They made an account the same day.
I mean,
Made an account. You all join a group, and then you all leave at the same time. Like,
What group was that?
I don't know the group right off the top of my head, but it was, I don't know. I think it was a Peoria one, like Peoria something. I don't know. It was a group. I don't know what's the name. I don't know the name of it. I don't know like the name of all these groups and stuff. And like everything, because there's so many, and I don't know. I would just have to try to just like find it. I guess I don't know.
It doesn't matter. I was just mostly curious about it.
I don't know, guys. Like, I just thought it was. I thought it was.
Hey, you thought it was fishy and weird. Why'd you ask him to meet up?
Mr. Uncle Cringe said, I wonder if Akron knows the name Cyrax through either people calling into stores or through local word of mouth. I think, so one thing that I will say is I know that the police department is aware of him multiple different times on different like body cam footage that we've gotten of police dealing with Cyrax. You can tell they call him Chance as soon as they walk up to the house. People have talked to police there, and the average beat cop in Akron just knows the name Cyrax. They know the name Chance. They know about his internet presence just like immediately before it's even explained to them because they have experience with it. As far as like your average person, I've done a little bit of research just out of curiosity into like just what it's like in Akron because I've never been there. And one interesting thing about Akron is that they actually have a very old population. The population of Akron is pretty much, it's kind of elderly, and it's not as nice as this place, but it reminds me there's a county called Bergen County in New Jersey. And Bergen County is like one of the oldest, it's a very wealthy county, but it's one of the oldest counties in the entire East Coast, probably in the country. And the reason for that is that it's just such a boring, dull suburb. Like, there's no clubs, there's no bars, there's really nothing to do, that people raised their kids there. And it's very close to New York. It's right over the George Washington Bridge. And then there's a couple of like kind of cooler Jersey cities nearby. So the kids who grew up in Bergen County, they don't want to stay there. They don't want to buy a house in Bergen and then remain there and raise their own families there. They either want to move into New York or they want to move into one of the younger, like more lively suburbs nearby. So you just have a lot of older people growing old in Bergen and not really going anywhere. Akron, as far as I can tell, is kind of the same way. Akron is like, nobody, it's kind of a crappy place to live, not to be a dick, but just like from what I can tell, the cleanliness of it, the crime, not much to do. It's not the most exciting place to live. And a lot of the younger people, if they're able to like make enough money, they leave Akron. They don't stay there. So you get a lot of people like Sally and Ed who just hang out. So I actually don't think that the population of Akron is as aware of Cyrax as they would be if he lived somewhere else where people were younger and where there was just kind of like more internet literacy, I guess, because I think it's a lot of very old people who live there, and they're just kind of not on the internet. So unless they've seen Cyrax freaking out on the front lawn because they're literally, like, I think his block knows about him, but if you live like 5 blocks away from Cyrax and you're a 65-year-old lady who just likes watching Wheel of Fortune and The Price is Right, you don't know who Cyrax is. That's my guess. You know what I mean?
I'm never gonna meet up. You know how many times we said that? You know, it was just like, yeah, okay, you want to meet? Yeah, let's meet. Oh, you're just playing. No, I'm not. You're playing. You know,
So if
I'll meet. You know.
So you thought just you guys were just, it was just
Bullshit talk.
bullshit, just kind of.
Yeah, I just thought it was like, cause basically I didn't think anything was serious. I did not.
But here's my question to you, Dominic. If you thought this was, bullshit, or you just thought it was part of the game, right? Why would you come up with the idea to meet at an establishment that's not too far from your house, a hotel that's not too far from your house? Why not say a nice hotel in Peoria? We'll go out to dinner at Alexander's, but no, you pick Taco Bell and I believe the Super 8 or the Motel 6, which is right down the street from your house.
Right, it just popped in my head.
Brian Rowan with the 5. Thank you, Brian. Did you see the clip of Chris Hansen saying he's looking into Nova? I did see that clip. I talked about it a little bit on the live stream last night. I like Chris Hansen a lot, but he's like a journalist, and it's law enforcement that always does the actual work. And then he just kind of comes in. He's, I actually said this on the farms the other day. I made this comparison. So Chris Hansen is to Catch a Predator and to Catching Predators what Rod Sterling was to The Twilight Zone. Rod Sterling was not writing the episodes of The Twilight Zone. He wasn't directing. He wasn't acting in them. He showed up at the beginning and he gave you the little monologue, where it's like, in a world where human beings have reached Mars. Like, he showed up in the suit, and he looked like clean cut, and he gave the monologue, and he introduced it, but then it's all the actors and the writers and the director that's doing all the work, you know what I mean? He's just there to host it. And I think Chris Hansen, he's a journalist, he's a host, but he's not the one actually doing the pred catching. It's law enforcement. He has groups that he works with, and then he goes and does the little interview. So this is why the Onision thing went so sideways. Chris Hansen, I think, kind of let his feet get ahead of him a little bit and tried to get involved in the Onision case. And from what I've heard, he actually kind of messed it up. And if law enforcement doesn't already have enough to get somebody, and then they're just going to bring Chris Hansen in to televise it, I don't think that Chris Hansen is going to like add anything to the investigation. You know what I mean? So if the police aren't already on to Nova, they haven't already caught him in a sting, and they're like about to bring the hammer down, and they're just letting Chris Hansen come along so that he can, I don't know, like televise it, boost it, make a spectacle out of it. Then I'm not hearing, oh, Chris Hansen wants to look into Nova and being like, yes, they're going to get him tomorrow. You know what I mean? So my hopes are not high. Now, look, it would be my dream to see Chris Hansen tell Nova to take a seat, probably in a diaper. That'd be hilarious. That'd be really great, you know? But at the same time, I don't have high hopes for anything happening to Nova. The other thing with Chris Hansen is every single episode of To Catch a Predator, the way that they get the Predator is that they get them to show up to the Sting House. Nova is a big danger to people online. He is not, in my opinion, brave enough to actually show up to a Sting House. I don't even think he would want to travel out of his own home, even if they set up a Sting House like 3 blocks away, you know? So I don't see how Chris Hansen even could catch Nova, considering he wouldn't show up to the Sting House in the first place. That's kind of my 2 cents on the whole thing.
I mean, because if you're going to be role-playing, I mean,
I'll try to,
you know, pick a little better way to eat than Taco Bell and go to stay at the Ritzy, you know, Motel 6.
It's just the place, man, that just bothered my head. It was just like...
It happens to be, you know, within walking distance from your house.
So, I mean, it's not like I was getting...
IMD Fox said, like, Nova wouldn't already be sitting down. Yeah, he'd walk in, and before Chris Hansen could say anything, he'd be like, you have anywhere I can sit down? Do you have soda? Do you have a Dr. Pepper? He'd be like panting and sweating. I've seen him like get out of breath trying to open Pokemon cards.
They don't know where I live, and they showed up. You know,
I understand they don't know where you live, but how does it look on our end when we know where you live and you're putting these messages out that you want to meet at a hotel that's right down the street from your house and eat at Taco Bell, which is right down the street from your house?
I never wanted to eat there. It talked about waiting. I want to come right into I want you to have the room, so I can go right into it. That sounds like a...
Okay, King Cthulhu with some more information on the Onion Boy Chris Hansen thing, which is something that I did not know. I did not know this piece of information. King Cthulhu said Chris Hansen came into the Onision story fine. He ended up making a documentary about it that had confidential information not given to the courts yet and released it all too soon, so Onision got off. Yeah, see, that's, again, I think that's why Chris Hansen is best when he is like an accessory to law enforcement and not trying to independently investigate himself, because he has a lot of experience, but he's not a cop, he's not a detective, and if he does something like that, something that could get Nova locked up could end up becoming inadmissible in court because of the way that, you know, Chris Hansen handled it. So it's definitely something to be more concerned about than excited about, I think.
That was kind of a little weird, I thought, so... And I think that's why I said Taco Bell. Like, you go eat Taco Bell or something. I don't know. So I was just saying whatever. I never planned on meeting that place. Just popped in my head, and it stayed there, you know, each time. So that's...
And we understand that. What he's saying, though, is it just seems odd. Like, if I were to pick a place to want to meet somebody, I get, like, that one's walking distance from your house, so it's easy for you. But that's where, like, I would maybe pick... you know, a different hotel. You put something that's honestly really, really close to your house.
It don't matter. It could be, I can live right next door, and they could show up, and I could, I mean, it just popped in my head, that's all I could say. Okay. There was nothing.
You didn't meet anybody, so I mean, you're not in trouble for that.
No, I wasn't planning on it. I just thought this was all, I still don't even know if they're real. Honestly, I don't see them here. I don't know.
I mean, usually we do police investigations, we don't bring victims in and let them sit in with suspects. I mean, you know, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but
yeah, they always ask for that too. That not always, okay, but that is a pretty common thing that they'll be like, well, why don't you bring if they were a kid, why don't you bring him in here and we can talk about it? And it's like, no, they're not going to bring your victim in, even if it was actually a kid and not like a cop. They're not going to bring your victim in here and make them sit across the table from you to have like a debate. Like, what are we, what? Camo with the 10, thank you, Camo. It was thanks to this community that I realized when I was a kid at Walmart, there was this suburb-looking guy talking to me. I realize now he was a pred. Scary. Dude, it's wild how they're everywhere. If you want to actually scare yourself, look up the registry in your area if you want to freak yourself out. I don't have kids yet, but knowing, working at the jail, how many of them were getting out all the time, seriously, like, look up the registry in your area and watch all the pings that come up even within, like, 10 blocks of you. It's terrifying. It's genuinely, like, my biggest concern about society. Cobra Commander with the 2. As Akron's mayor, you do have a point. Thank you. I'm glad we're on the same page about that, Cobra. I'm sure under your mayoral campaign, the city will begin to improve. Nacho Bear with the 5. Thank you, Nacho. Out of all the cows, who do you think has the best chance of full redemption? Yeah, ooh, that's actually kind of a hard question. I guess I would say probably the people who have done the least severe crime to begin with, because for somebody like Chance or Nova, I believe there is no redemption. Like, there are certain lines that once you cross them, it's just too bad. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't do that. I think, like, I wouldn't say that Nova or Chance could actually fully redeem themselves. You know, okay, maybe Tofiachu, because she's incredibly lazy. But she had, like, her crimes are not to the level of, like, a Chance or a Jupiter or something like that. So I could see possibly, like, if I stopped hearing about Tofiachu today, and I found out in 10 years she was working at, like, a Best Buy or something, I would just be like, oh, nice. You know what I mean? So maybe Toph, which is a weird thing to say because I really don't like Toph. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm actually going to have to kind of think about that question and maybe circle back to it if I can remember, because I think there's probably a better answer than Toph, but it's not coming to mind right now for me. And then Bounty Hopper with the 5. If you ever think your loved one is becoming a lolcow, you need a lolcow exorcism. Bring a job application, speech therapy, deodorant, and soapy water. Yeah, it's the same exorcism that you would do for a family member that's getting way too excited about being like a Reddit mod. You know what I mean? And then, oh, I just saw we had 10 gift memberships. If you guys got one of those gift memberships, please say thank you.
I mean, if you want, I mean, I can tell you if you're watching police shows, you don't see a 15-year-old kid in the room with an adult that, you know, was messaging them. That doesn't happen.
I want to give credit. I don't know what happened. For some reason, midway through, I was reading the gift membership super chat, and it disappeared for me. So I want to give credit to the person who dropped all those gift memberships, but I can't actually see who did it. So if you guys can let me know who dropped those memberships, I'd love to give them credit.
No, I just don't believe this. I just thought it was. That was roleplay.
But you never discussed.
Oh, Nabilk46, thank you very much, man. That was so weird. That's never happened to me before. Like, the notification, like, it popped up and then disappeared. Nabilk, thank you for those gift memberships, man. Appreciate it.
With any of those girls were roleplay.
I just thought they.
Yes or no? Did you ever say the word roleplay to any one of them?
Roleplay? I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, I talked to a lot of people.
I'm talking about with the
I don't know. I don't remember it all.
The 2 girls.
I've talked to so many people. Like once I've done.
Because you and I both probably know the answer to that.
What?
It's no. You never once.
No, I'm not going to say that.
I can tell you it's no.
You don't know. I don't know that.
I do know that.
No.
You don't know that? No, I do know that.
No, you don't know that. I know that because I don't know that.
I can tell you never did. Okay? I can tell you never once brought up the word roleplay.
I did not. I'm not saying I did.
So for you to say you were role-playing is kind of not it because you never mentioned the word roleplay to them.
Well, I mentioned it to a lot of other people, so I'm just assuming
you just told me that you messaged roleplay to other people, correct?
I have.
Yo, Iridescent Pearl with the 10 gift memberships. Thank you very much, Pearl. If you guys got one of those, please say thank you. We're lighting chat up green today. Everybody's going green. I don't even see a lot of gray left in chat. This is crazy. Akron Annihilator with the 2 said, your turn, cutie. My turn for what? I'm a little scared when I hear that. And then Alex again with the 10. Thank you, Alex. One of the things Nova, Cyrax, and the others have in common, they're stupid. Perhaps it isn't that all predators look like that. Maybe those are just the ones who get caught. Scary. I guess that's probably true, is that maybe we're just catching you do catch the dumb criminals first, so maybe we're just catching the ones who are at the bottom of the barrel there. And yeah, we got Mayor Menace in chat. We had Bloodspeth earlier. We got Mayor Menace. We got everybody showing up. That's awesome. What's up, Menace? How you doing today, homie?
Yes, but you didn't say roleplay to these people.
Well, no.
Your words, not mine. Your exact
words in my mouth.
No, I'm not. You exactly said.
Stop. You're putting words in my mouth. No, they're reading your text messages to you. They're not putting words in your mouth. They're literally quoting you.
No. Dominic, I'm telling you what
I'm trying to tell you.
No, Dominic, you're trying to tell me that you never. I'm telling you what you told me. Your exact words were, Dominic. I mentioned roleplay to other people, and I can tell you never mentioned to these people. So obviously,
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, you didn't. I went through the message.
Well, I
can tell you didn't. Okay, so to sit here and say that.
Ooh, Mayor Menace said he's got a Nova vid coming out. If you guys are not subscribed to Mayor Menace's channel, you should be. Check out his Nova video, along with a new cow. I'm gonna pin. Can somebody drop the link, one of my mods, to Menace's channel so I can pin it, please? I'd love to give him a plug.
You were playing role play, but there was no role playing. There was never
It was
engagement
fake.
between them.
It doesn't matter if I say role play or not. It's like they was fake. It wasn't real. It was just, you know, it was nothing. It wasn't. They weren't. They weren't underage. They were actually. In my head, they weren't actually.
So then why would you role play that? If you think they're under,
that's what I thought they wanted.
because you're envisioning them then, and according to you,
That's what I thought they
role play.
wanted. I don't know. It's just.
Dominic, they never said anything about that, though. That's all your thought process on it.
What's that?
Via quick on the draw, thank you with the link. I now have Mayor Menace's link pinned. Like I said, please go give him a sub. He deserves it.
That's all your thought process on it. There was never any mentions of role play. There was never any mentioning of anything like that. Like, I can speak specifically to the Maggie account. Like, you just 2 days ago mentioned you wanted to date her and you wanted to keep her.
Foxtrot said they were just cartoons, officer. Officer, are you saying cartoons have human whites?
on the down low until she turns 18.
And if you want to say it's role playing, that's fine. That's fine. But here's the thing: in your head, you're envisioning that person to be under the age of 18.
Sometimes I say these things just to see if they just guys, like, you know, that wasn't a serious thing. It was just
I mean, it is pretty serious. Nude photographs to someone who tells you they're 14 years old.
No.
Yeah, no, that is pretty serious. Let's not down.
yeah, but I didn't think.
One-Eyed Willie said, how long until Rax uses role-playing as an excuse? He's done it before. No, he's already done that. He said, not exactly the role-play defense, but what he said is that even though somebody told him that they were like 14, he knew from the way that they were talking that they were just trying to catch him in a sting because they'd done it before, and he was like playing along. He was just playing along to try to like catch them, like reverse sting catch them. You know, he's done that a couple of times. And then Via said, Morty, can we get a Daniel Larson impression? I don't do a very good Daniel Larson. I feel like every time I do Larson, it ends up coming out as Josh Block. Like, it's just like, Grace, I know that your mother doesn't want me talking to you anymore, Grace, but the police want me to leave this Olive Garden, and I need your help, Grace.
If they were, okay.
They told you they were 14.
told you they were 14. They said, I can't wait till I'm 16 to drive.
And even if you're playing role play, you're in your head thinking it is a 14-year-old, and you still send the photos.
Nope.
They're all just yelling him now, and he's freaking out.
Nope.
Yeah, you're right. You did nothing wrong in this. I
I'm
get
not
it. You did nothing.
saying, hey, I don't think, I just didn't think.
The problem is now that even if you're thinking it's a role-playing situation, you're envisioning the person to be of that age. So even if you want to say it's a role play, you're still role-playing that person is 14 and you're still sending them those photos. Or the person is 15.
That's good.
It's still
I'm sending
envisioning.
the person-
You're not sending it to
sending the person
That's what
behind the
role-playing is.
character.
Yeah, see, I told you guys, for some reason, no matter what voice I try to do whenever I do Larson, I've tried so many different voices to do Larson, and every single time I do it, it just comes out as Josh Block.
Behind the character.
You think
behind the character.
Yep, and you're thinking that character is 14 years
that
old.
character, not that character, the person. I mean, the person behind the
Character.
character.
That's not role-playing then.
The theoretical 14-year-old character, it really is giving Bowser right now.
Dominic?
Yeah, because
That's not role playing. Role playing is when a person portrays to be an actor or some kind of person to entice the other person. So in your head you're thinking this person's 14 years old and you're sending these nude photographs to him, or the person is 15 and you're sending them, because that's what role playing is. Okay, role playing is you're looking at someone and saying,
He's like, no, she was pretending to be Jennifer Lawrence. I didn't send that picture from below the waist to her. I was sending it to Jennifer Lawrence. Like, what?
you tell me I've been envisioning this person's 15 years old.
I did not.
That's what, no, your words not mine, you said role playing.
They were envisioning themselves as that.
No, but if they were envisioning themselves to be that, and they were talking about themselves like they were that, and you sent them these pictures anyway, you can't be having two different role-play sessions at the same time. If there's a husband and a wife and they're role-playing, and the husband is pretending that they're in like some Star Trek scenario, and the wife is pretending that they're in like a book talk book, like, that doesn't work. Like, he can't be like, what? It's getting dumber, everything that he does.
I
go along with it, and that I did not think.
You went along, so you said
they were.
but they're playing the role of that. They're that role. They're playing that role. That's their role they think you're
I
playing.
said, that's my, so,
But you never use the word role play.
Yo, Blubbu with the 2. Thank you, Blubbu. To Chuck, may he rest. May he rest. I was gonna say in peace, but I don't think he wants peace. I think he wants the fights. May he rest however he chooses, man. For real.
Okay, well, that's just what I think of role play, but you know, it's just not. Maybe that role play is just they think they're this person.
Brian Rowan, like King Cobra JFS said, what is it? Adult, alive, consensual, non-related. You know what I mean? You gotta follow Cobra's tenets to make sure you don't end up in one of these rooms here.
I didn't think.
But you're still playing. What are you playing along that role?
Well, yeah, because
You played the role of a 24-year-old, and they were going to play the role of a 15-year-old.
Yeah, so I was just playing along, and then.
So in your head, you're thinking this person's 15. That's how this goes.
No, I was thinking it was one person playing the 3 people that was over 18, and just.
So what would be the purpose of role playing if you thought they were 18? Why would you role play with somebody?
Because I wanted to.
It doesn't make any sense.
I'm trying to see
Yeah,
but I also want to see who. I'm trying to see who the person is, you know, that's behind, you know. They're playing these people and then behind, because like a lot of times there are a lot of people out there that use fake photos and act like other people and send you things and try to, you know, get.
They always make this argument too, right? They'll be like, well, I knew that they were trying to trick me, so I wanted to find out who was trying to trick me. So it's like, I don't know why. If you felt like somebody was catfishing you, why would you even respond to that message? Why would you think, why would you want to continue to engage with that person? This is like, I don't know, when I had Instagram back in the day, I don't really have social media anymore, but there used to be a thing on Instagram where there would be like these fake pages that were clearly just pictures of like an Instagram model, and you would get a DM from an account that had like, was following like 600 people but didn't have any followers, and it was just a bunch of pictures of like some Instagram baddie, and it would just message you in like this clearly AI or maybe broken English thing, just being like, hey, I am looking for a friend. And it's like, you just don't answer that. You don't answer it and then try to do an investigation into who's trying to catfish you. You just ignore it. Like, what are we talking about here?
Money, you know, it's called like scamming, right? And then you.
Did these girls ever ask you for money?
Huh?
Did they ask for money? Did they try scamming you?
I don't think they asked for any money. But that don't matter.
It does matter because you offered to pay Taylor money for nudes.
I'm trying.
And they were asking for money?
See, I try to. See, that's the thing, is they.
My question is, did they ask you or did you ask them?
What?
For money for the pictures.
Oh, no, they didn't ask me for any money.
But you did, though.
I didn't ask for money.
He was offering to pay them for pictures. That's so, oh my God, it's getting worse. Every new revelation.
Did he ask money for it?
Absolutely.
I didn't ask for money.
You said you would pay them money for nudes.
Yeah, I said that just to.
I said, now he's trying to figure out. He started the excuse, right? He goes, yeah, well, I only said that because, and then it's just a long pause. Like, it's just a very long pause because he started the excuse not knowing what the end of it was going to be. Brian Rowan said, my girlfriend's uncle leaves some weird-ass comments on bot models' Facebook posts. Dude doesn't even DM, he just leaves them there in the comments for everyone to see. So when I was in high school, there was a guy, and he was like in like his mid-20s, and he had like a public Instagram profile. I think he was like a mechanic or something like that, but he would just post pictures of him working on cars and stuff like that. And he would straight up, in public, post comments on, this is like my freshman and sophomore year of high school. He would just randomly comment on girls' photos who went to my school and say like the creepiest shit. It wasn't even like he was trying to flirt. He would literally just say like, pretty girl, beautiful girl, nice hair girl, pretty eye girl. Like, it was so strange. And the only reason everybody even realized it was happening was because I think he was going to hashtags like for our school, or people would like geotag the school to like try to find girls, because literally like any relatively attractive girl in my school had gotten like 5 or 6 different comments on their pictures from this specific guy. And it ended up being a thing where they told the a couple of girls got together and told the counselor about it, and we don't know what happened. Like, to this day, I don't know what happened with this guy. all I know is it completely stopped. Like it just overnight one day, his account was gone, and nobody else got any other comments from this guy. But it got to the point where like so many people were like, somebody would be in the cafeteria like, I got this weird comment from like this adult man, and like 6 or 7 girls. I'm not gonna say what the account name was. I don't even quite remember. But if it was just like Philly Guy 215, like they'd be like, oh, was it Philly Guy 215? And they'd be like, oh my god, how did you know? Because he was doing it to so many people.
Well, you see, the people behind it, you know, that play these characters, they want money. So,
but they didn't ask for that. No time did they ask for these. They never asked. They never asked.
Trying to see what they.
So you figured you'd get ahead of it.
Said
get ahead of it, so they didn't CM you.
No, no.
I'm trying to.
Okay, I did it. I said 6'7". You guys got me. Bounty Hopper with the 2. Thank you, Bounty. They illegally entrapped me. Yeah, officer, what you don't understand is that somebody named Masshole Mafia illegally, federally.
Understand your logic here, okay?
It's just hard to explain, like.
Well, because sometimes the hardest thing to explain is not the truth. The easiest thing is usually the truth.
Well, when you're kind of like got all this going on, you know, you're just kind of like wow. Like,
the thing is, Dominic,
your mind's racing. It's hard to.
Dominic, I don't think you're a bad person at all. Okay.
Wait. So this is hilarious. One of my like IRL friends who I went to high school with, I know that like he has I know that like he knows about my channel, but I didn't know like if he regularly watched it or anything. Literally seconds after I told that story, he sent me a message and said, I remember that guy, and had the exact username that the guy had. Like, this is how infamous this guy was in my school, that as soon as I mentioned it, one of my friends was like, it was this dude.
Yeah, I don't think you're a bad person at all, okay? I think you made some stupid mistakes, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay? But the good thing is you didn't meet these girls. You didn't do anything like that. Okay?
So.
But there is a problem.
I knew, like.
Okay, so now we're getting into like kind of the good cop part of the read technique, and this is what I was talking about earlier with like kind of folding the paper up and getting it smaller and smaller, painting them into a smaller and smaller corner. So now they're gonna good cop them a little bit and go, look, we know that you talked to these girls because we kind of got you to the point that you admitted that. However, you didn't meet them in the first place. And what they're subtly setting up here is like, it's not as bad. It could have been a lot worse. So you should really just admit to us like anything that happened, because it could have been worse. You didn't actually meet them. Like, they're minimizing the crime by comparing it to something worse so that this guy will feel a little bit comfortable and maybe give them some more. And I think he's going to.
Dominic, there is a problem though with them telling you that they were of age, or what age they were, and then you still communicating with them. Okay?
Well,
and in no time, Dominic, in no time was there a mention of role playing. Okay.
Well,
you didn't mention it. They didn't mention it, but you continue to send messages.
Well,
okay. But they also told you.
You only have these messages. Do you have messages from like the groups they've been in and stuff?
I only have messages from you.
And now he's trying to incriminate them again. They always do this. They always want to make it like the person that they were trying to victimize is the bad guy. Well, you need to go look at their messages. You need to go check out the groups that they were in. Maybe they were doing weird shit. You know, he wants to flip it.
Well,
that's because that's where the crime is. You to them. Okay.
Well,
do I need to go? Should I open up your account and go look at every person you've talked to?
Well, I mean, can you break up like deleted conversations?
I have every conversation you've had with the two.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can bring up all the people because I talked to hundreds.
I know. We're here to talk about the.
Yeah, but you go to, but those, I get to talk to them privately, but then they actually messaged in the groups. I'm pretty sure everyone that messaged in the groups first, actually, like the Peoria, there's like a Peoria group, and then there's that other one I was talking about. There were multiple groups they were in that had multiple people in there too. So
well, just because they're in groups doesn't mean they're.
But they say things in there, you know.
Let's just talk about it. Like, I have the group messages too, and she never once mentioned it.
This cop on the left is infuriated, and I gotta say, like, I really feel it, because oftentimes I'll say, I don't know how these people are able to retain their level of patience in these situations. He's been in this interrogation room that we know of now. I mean, there was a little intro at the beginning, so let's say like 43 minutes. Like, it hasn't even 43, nice. It hasn't even been that long. It's been less than an hour, and he's at the end of his motherfucking rope. Like, he's like, why? He literally like has to put the papers down to throw his hands around because he's so pissed.
No, let's just stop.
And that's just like,
I have the group messages too, and she never once mentioned in groups anything.
I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying.
You just told us they did.
You said they're in these groups and making these messages.
No, I'm saying that they could have.
They didn't.
I don't remember what it.
I'm saying they could have immediately yelled back at him. Well, they didn't.
But I'm telling you, they didn't. You're saying that they could have. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But I can tell you they fucking didn't. Okay?
Damn.
Group message too. Never once.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I could tell you they fucking didn't. Like, damn, man. I love watching them get actually cooked like this. You rarely see these predators actually get held accountable, actually have their feet held to the fire. This is awesome.
At least mine. Never sent a single group message. Join the group, yes. Send a group message, no.
I didn't. Okay. I mean, that's fine.
Ryan Rose said, bro, rolled up his sleeves. Yeah, they're getting physically heated in here.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Dominic.
You guys know.
Hey,
You
Dominic,
guys know. I don't.
We're here to talk to you about you and Maggie and you and Taylor. We don't care what was done in the
I
group
just thought they were.
messages.
I thought they were the same person.
Okay, but
And,
they weren't.
Look. He's like straightening the binder out. He's adjusting shit unnecessarily. He's looking off. I literally just watched him do the Chris Chan stress sigh over here.
Huh?
They were two different females.
I didn't know that.
But anyways,
And
that's your fine to have that side of the
Yo, he's so mad he's leaving.
story.
I mean,
I just want to kind of explain a couple things to you.
I respect that so much. I don't know that I've ever seen a cop in an interrogation room get so fucking mad that he had to physically leave before. That's incredible.
And we'll kind of go over some stuff. Do you have any other questions?
I can just say.
so these were real people that were messaging.
Let me educate you.
And what about them being?
Okay, not with a predator ever, but I have had those moments with inmates where you're like, I physically have to step away from this interaction right now, or it's going to become physical really soon, and I know that I can't do that, so I just have to leave.
What are they doing in these chat rooms, anyways? If they're underage?
What are you doing?
Really, dude? Really? Oh, I was waiting for him to say something like that. What are they doing in these chat rooms anyway? If they're like, oh, come on, man, come on.
What are they doing in these chat rooms, anyways? If they're underage?
What are you doing messaging them, sending them
I
pictures
just
like
told
that?
you. I just thought it was a thing.
Stolas said that the cop breaker was that a valid crash out? No, I think that's the opposite of breaking. I think breaking would be if he lost his temper to the fact that he snapped out, cursed this dude out, said something he wasn't supposed to. I've seen guards do that, man. Inmates will rage bait guards when they're in handcuffs because if you hit an inmate while they're cuffed up, you can lose your job. So, like, they'll rage bait you so bad. They'll talk about, like, oh, when I get out, I'm gonna dick your wife down and all this crazy shit, like, just to get you mad, hoping you'll put hands on them while they're in cuffs or something like that. Like, the losing or breaking would have been him actually snapping out to the guy's face. Knowing that you're at your limit and getting up and stepping out of the room without saying a word, to me, like, that's, I have, like, more respect for that. That's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Walking away when you're livid is really hard. I think it took a lot of willpower to do that.
A thing that they liked, and I was just going along, I never thought they were actual,
So here's the thing. If I'll just give
And
you a
then
little
I
friendly.
just went along with it, and I just figured that that the real person will come,
So here's the
come
thing,
out.
Dominic. If someone tells you they're 15,
No,
I wouldn't be sending them pictures of male genitalia and stuff like that, okay? As soon as they're 15, if someone tells you that,
I didn't think they were.
but they told you they were. So
No,
whether you
that
want to
don't mean
believe...
they are. Like, people lie. People, like,
I get
they are that, So,
Dominic, here's the thing.
but I never even said those pictures were of me. You said it was the same person, though.
Yeah, Canadian Chief said, aha, dum-dum. Aha, you mad. That was one of the best rage baits I've ever seen any inmate do. I mean, easily, I almost just said his name, Jesus. I almost doxed that inmate. But, like, no. This guy, I mean, you would, like, trip on your shoelace, and he was on the top tier, and he'd always be in the cell with his face pressed up against the glass, like, fogging it up, and you would, like, trip on your shoelace. You go, I saw that. Look whose first day it is walking. aha, dum dum, aha, you mad? They didn't teach you how to walk in the academy? Like, dude, he would rage bait people so hard that other guards would laugh. I've done it. We're always supposed to be on the same side and like kind of like, you know, it's an us against them thing. All the inmates are together against you and you got to like link up with the guards and make sure you're against them. No, dude. There was things sometimes where that specific inmate would say, aha, dum dum, and all the other guards would laugh at you too. And then as a guard, that would make you even more mad because now the inmates and the entire block are all laughing at you just because this guy said, aha, dum dum, about like you dropping your pen on the floor or something.
It appears to be, but here's the thing, it doesn't really matter. If they're of you, of him, it doesn't matter. What it comes down to is it came from that phone that sent it to those profiles with those underage females. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't matter if it was you. I was really just asking out of curiosity. It really has no effect on anything for what we're doing here.
See, I don't understand how, I don't know, again, I might have to talk, can I talk to a lawyer?
Do you want to talk?
I think the reason we respected that inmate too was because no matter who you were getting aha dum dummed. He did it to lieutenants. He did it to other inmates. It could be the toughest inmate on the whole block. If he caught you slipping, he would do it. He would do it to the psychiatrists. He would do it to the nurses. He would cook. He was an equal opportunity rage baiter. And like I respect him to this day for that. I saw him one time. We had someone from Central Office, which in Pennsylvania would be Harrisburg. We would occasionally get people from Central Office in Harrisburg, and they would come and they would do a tour of the whole jail. And we always knew that they were coming ahead of time so that we could clean up our blocks. You would have to make sure that everything was super locked down. If you had problem inmates, you didn't even let them out of the cells that day. You would tell them ahead of time, you'll get extra yard time later, but we have somebody coming, you know, you're going to be in that day. Like, we legitimately, we had to, it's like when if you're working in a franchise store like a supermarket and you know that like somebody's coming from like one of the main offices to inspect it, so you just have to like make it look as perfect as possible. You're buffing the floor, you're washing the windows, everything, right? And I remember we had guys from Central Office come in and we had made the whole jail look great, like as great as we could make it look, and they're doing their walk through this they're doing their walk through the block that he was housed on. He's locked up top, and it was 3 people. It was like one of the superintendents, and it was 2. I don't know exactly what their roles were. I really don't. But it was 2 very important people from Central Office. They're walking around, and they come onto the block, and you hear him go. He goes, "Aha, dum dum. Aha, you mad? Aha, you wearing a shirt that you bought 20 pounds ago? Aha, that joint a little tight, that joint riding up. I think I can see your back fat. Aha, you mad?" And he is just, the dude was wearing like a way too tight polo shirt, like a 3-button polo, and it was fitting him like one of those Nova t-shirts. And I mean, he's cooking him for everything. He's going, "Aha, you mad? That lanyard is hanging on for dear life. That lanyard looking like a choker. You mad?" And as soon as, like, we can't laugh, because these people are like the bosses of our bosses' bosses. But I'm going to tell you, when he said that lanyard is holding on for dear life, that lanyard is looking like a choker, I had to like turn around and bite my cheek. Like I was biting the shit out of my cheek because that lanyard looking like a choker is cooking me. And these guys, they're not guards. They're like administrative staff. They're admin. So they're not used to getting talked to this way. This dude is pulling at his polo shirt, trying to make it look less tight. He's looking all embarrassed. Like, I felt bad, but we get it every day. This was probably the first time this guy had ever been bullied so hard, and we were losing our minds. Like, we talked about it for weeks afterwards. We were dying.
I might have to, because I just don't.
That's fine.
It's like, just because it's not.
That's Dominic. If you want to talk to a lawyer, do you want to talk to a lawyer, Dominic?
I gotta. Yeah, I just. So these are.
Bounty Hopper with the 5 said, "Is that why you're not a CO anymore? You punched with." No, I decided to stop being a CO because the schedule was just getting to be really difficult on like my personal relationships. And after COVID, our unions were really losing contracts. The nurses got hazard pay. The support staff got hazard pay. We never got our hazard pay. and they were like creating more difficult circumstances for us by changing the rules to be a little bit more inmate friendly and a little bit difficult for the guards to run a block properly. And then on top of that, they're not giving us raises. They're not giving us more time off. Our union was just being like really, really weak. So I made the decision after like the second contract renewal that really just did not serve us to be like, I can't do this anymore, man, because the job is getting harder every couple weeks. It's getting more straining. The schedule is straining me more. It's getting more mentally taxing. And, you know, everything else is going up. My rent is going up. My utility bills are going up. Food is going up. And my wage is staying the same. It got to the point where I just couldn't justify it anymore. I was like, I can make almost as much as I'm making here. Guards in PA do not make a lot of money. I was like, I could make almost as much as I'm making here going to work at like Best Buy or something. I could find an office job and get a 9 to 5 and make close to the same money and not be nearly as stressed and get to be home at nighttime and have dinner and stuff like that. So it's like I made the decision just because it was too many negative effects on my life and not enough positive effects. And I'm glad I was a guard. I feel like I got a lot of good life experience out of it. I have a lot of good memories. I made a lot of friends. But I'm definitely glad I don't do it anymore because it's hard on you, man. It's hard on your body. It's hard on your mind. There's a lot of addiction in guards. There's a lot of divorce with guards. There's a lot of personal issues the guards end up with. It's a very taxing job. So, like, thoughts and prayers to anybody out there doing it. You guys are the fucking goats, but I couldn't do it forever, man. I could not have done 20 years doing that job.
I was actually talking to these girls.
No, I just want to ask, do you want to talk to a lawyer?
Yeah, it'd be.
I
think so. I mean,
it's yes or no.
Okay. I don't know how this goes, guys. Like, if I talk to a lawyer, I know, but if I talk to a lawyer, do I have to get one myself, or does one come in, or?
If you want to talk to a lawyer, it's yes or no, and then we'll go, there's a route. But you have to answer that question on your own. Okay. I can't answer that for you, Dominic.
Corey said prisons are all for profit. I mean, inmates live better than homeless vets that served our country. No, you're 100% right. The inmates got better medical care in many cases than the guards did. For me, even like my vision care, I have a very light prescription. My glasses prescription is not super expensive. It's not super complicated. I would get like my vision care from the prison, being a state employee, was like $50 off of whatever my glasses cost. Like, I had all these really, really, really high copays and ridiculous deductibles for anything medical that I would ever need to get done. The medical care for the staff members was terrible. Meanwhile, the state, because the state makes you a ward of the state when they're an inmate, when you're an inmate, they are obligated to give you medical care to help you survive. So like, there were guards who had diabetes that had copays for their insulin, and it was really high, and it was like a stressful thing for them. Meanwhile, the inmates, it's all free. If you have diabetes, if you have cancer, they'll send you to get cancer treatment. They do medically, they just have to take literally everything. They have to take care of everything for you. And not that they shouldn't, not that they should just let you like rot and die in there or anything, but it's just crazy that they were getting better medical care than literally the staff members who were working there. You know, it's like a shocking situation. Akron Annihilator said Morty wears glasses just to drive. I'm nearsighted, so I would actually get a headache if I left them on all the time or if I wore them to read or something like that. But when I'm driving, I have to wear them because when I'm on the highway, if I'm like looking at a sign and I'm trying to read it, like to read what the exit is, by the time I get like close enough to the sign to read it, it's like too late to merge usually. So I literally leave my glasses like in my car because that's the only thing I use them for.
That's a question you're gonna have to say yes or no question.
Okay, first, is there a way?
It's a yes or no question.
No, first I want to ask.
I can't. It's a yes or no. Do you
ask something else?
I can't answer any questions.
Is there a way to know that these were real people that I was actually
Chanza, have a good one, man. Good to see you here today. I hope you have a good day.
talking to them?
I cannot answer any questions moving forward unless you answer the question of do you want an attorney.
Ash Erotica said, you're accusing me of being a Fed on Women's History Month. I actually think it's misogynistic that you wouldn't think a woman could be an FBI agent. What would Clarice Starling think about this, Ash? I also think about this. How about you guys think about this? Have any of you guys ever considered that Dr. Pepper could be a woman? If you haven't ever considered that Dr. Pepper could be a woman, reflect.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go over the charges with you, and I'm gonna have you sit back and hold yourself for a minute, okay? So here's what you're gonna be charged with. I'm not gonna answer any more questions on that side of things, but here's the thing. So you're gonna be charged with solicitation to meet a child, indecent solicitation of a child, harmful material, sexual exploitation of a child, and grooming. Those are gonna be the charges that you're gonna get through the Chillicothe Police Department, through Peoria County. With you. Okay. So he wants a lawyer, but if you want to put him.
It took him over 50 minutes to ask for a lawyer, which he should have done before he ever talked to these cops. You will never, ever help yourself talking to police officers when they think that you are the suspect. If they think that you're the suspect, if you find yourself in this room, just fucking lawyer up. That's all.
Charges. Who wants a lawyer?
So he's done.
Yeah. So I just went over my charges. I don't know
I mean,
what you had.
I still don't know that these people are real. Like
I still don't know if these people are real. He's acting like he's lost his tether to reality here.
so
You want a lawyer for
Dominic, we can't answer any questions since you invoked that you wanted a lawyer, okay? I can't give you any more information, can't have any more conversation.
I mean,
I'm just letting you know.
You guys are gonna charge me anyway. What's
What's up? Yeah. All right, Dominic, have to come with me, okay?
I don't know, guys. Get on some of these sites and you'll see.
Generica said, mind you, he didn't even ask for the lawyer until he was pressed to do so by the officer. The officer is like, can you please ask for a lawyer so I have an excuse to stop talking to you? Cobra with the 2. Cobra said, looks like we got a Fed. Ain't never gonna find me.
Walk down this hallway, all the way down, and then take a left. All right, we'll be right back with you, okay?
Yeah.
And you'll sit there until you see a judge within 48 hours.
How long?
You'll see a judge within 48 hours.
In 48?
Within 48 hours.
Within 48 hours.
So can I ask about?
You want a lawyer? We can't talk anymore.
Putting him in the cage and then just going, oh, well, you want a lawyer? We can't talk anymore.
Following
IMD Fox said, is he getting a lawyer or a child role-playing as a lawyer? He better be very careful when he checks.
the investigation, prosecutors filed multiple felony charges, including 2 counts of indecent solicitation of and 1 count of grooming. Court records show the defendant later entered a guilty plea to 1 count of indecent solicitation of.
It's crazy that they have to censor the word for a person below a certain age in these videos because the moderation is that intense. Like, what is the incentive? It really makes you wonder. It makes you wonder what the incentive is to, like, protect these people.
A Class 3 felony, while the remaining charges were dismissed as part of the plea agreement.
So he got some of the charges away for the plea agreement, but they got to hit him with the Class 3 felony, which in many cases for this is like, that's probably the best possible scenario. They'll throw like 5 charges at you, and if they can throw, a lot of times they're really only including the smaller charges in the first place so that when the plea agreement comes along, there's something to bargain with and they can still hit them with the biggest charge. So it's like sad that they can't get every single charge, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like they're really only including these smaller things on the side because they know something is going to get thrown away. So it's almost a decoy to be like, yeah, throw away the smaller charges so we can hit him with the felony, you know? So that was a really good one. I love seeing one of these where the predator ends up in a cage at the end instead of just stumbling out of the room to ask Sally to make a Hot Pocket or something like that. That's one of my favorite things about the true crime streams is there's actual consequences for these people. We can stand by and continue. I had a little bit of a stroke there for a second. We can stand by and continue to hope that the lolcows will actually face some consequences soon. But that is going to be all for this stream. Not too long from now, at 4:30 Central Time, we have a brand new video on Tofia Chew coming up. And at the end of the Toph video, if you're interested, there's also an update about Shani and Rev. It wasn't like a long enough update for me to do a whole video on the 2 of them, so I just tacked it on to the end of the Toph video. And yeah, we'll be back with another live stream on Sunday night. It's going to be a debt clearing stream. There wasn't like a whole lot of debt from the last one. I have to watch it back. I think it's like 4 shots that I missed. So we'll do a little bit of debt and get into some nonsense on Sunday. Another video coming out later today. Thank you guys all for coming in the middle of the day. 400 people during work hours on a fucking Friday. Y'all are the best. I love doing the true crime streams. Love hanging out with the community. So I had a very good afternoon hanging out with y'all. I'm going to wrap this up now, and we'll call it a day. So you guys know the drill. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to us and also to Midwest Patrol. And you guys know the drill. Do not talk. See, I prepare these for the other ones, like for the mainstreams. I'll be like, stay away from the goblin. Don't shit on the floor. I have something ready, and for these, I have to think about it for a second. Let's see. Stay off Telegram. Don't assume that an adult is just role-playing as a child when they tell you that they're a child. And, of course, most importantly, have a good one.